brain sluice, slick with ectoplasmic juice. Static energy, a fire that fuels our memory. With genealogy, with spiritual topography. Questions for your answers, we are data necromancers.
Can you touch it for me? I was about to grab my phone to take a picture of you, and I can't. I've run out of cameras.
It's so funny how many things are around us.
Yeah, and how none of them work.
Okay, so we're gonna do a little clip here.
Whitney is a woman. She...
Digger.
Oh, maybe that's Thrive saying, we lost a sample.
Do you want to tell? There was a chaos vortex. We know how they work. We see them.
We are inside of them.
We are inside of them.
So, okay, I'm trying to be a good mom and, take care of my 14-year-old cat. And she had an annual visit a few weeks ago. And when she was at the clinic, they couldn't get her pee sample. They got her blood sample and everything else. And so they gave me this little packet of... I don't know, they look like those little silica gel things, but they're not. They don't absorb the pee. They just provide a medium for the kitty to pee into. So I had just changed her litter box, so I had to wait for her litter to be bad enough for me to dump it out, clean the box, and put these stupid little pee things in.
Microplastics,
specifically made to be microplastics. And then I did it yesterday morning. She didn't pee all fucking day. She peed at 11 p.m. last night. So I used the little syringe they provided to suck up her pee and put it in this tube. And then I put it in a little plastic bag.
So you're sucking up little micro balls?
No, the balls are big enough to give her a medium to pee into.
Okay.
But then you just suck up the liquid. And then this morning... Thrive opened at 8. I had to take a shower because I was grimy, and then I wanted to time it so I could be here at 9:30 to start our podalacious. And it took so long to get down there because of the time of day. And then when I got there, I had to wait a while for someone to notice me, and then a lady noticed me. As soon as she
noticed you in the building?
Yeah, standing at the desk, and then she grabbed the sample from me and she was like, oh, what have we, oh god, she had tipped open the vial and it was spilling pee into the bag, and I was like, hey, I gotta go, because I was already late for her pod, and so I just bounced without
Was she opening the vial and then the vial
nothing was open. She just tipped it or opened the plug that was on the top of it or something, but she just
destroyed the sample that you had just dropped off.
But I just texted the Thrive thing and they said they got it, have a great day. So I think we did it. And the reason why I wanted to do it before pod was because there's a 12-hour window, so I couldn't do it after because we wouldn't be there by 11 a.m. Because we gotta do our pod.
You wouldn't be where? By 11 a.m.? To Thrive?
If I had come here first with the pee sample,
right,
and then we do the pod and then drop it on the way to the mall, I feel like it would have been just past the 12-hour limit. But that is a trivial situation of my own life and my own making. And everything else in the world, it has much more gravitas. We've talked about gun violence against children before on this pod.
We've talked about it several times, and I don't... You know what I did? I don't think I wanted to talk about it because it was just we talk about it, we go dark with it, it you know.
I did, unrelated to that, because that hadn't happened yet. When I was traveling through West Texas, I was like, I kind of wish I had a gun. I was like, what if I had a little gun, like in my glove compartment or like in my trunk or something? Because like out in those expanses of like, stay on this road for 79 miles or like 115 miles. Like, what if one of my tires burst and I was on the side of the road by myself? And I don't know. I was just thinking sort of apocalyptically, like, I need to protect myself.
I feel like there's a little mic stand nipple in our way.
There she is.
When we went out to West Texas, that was the first thing Lucas grabbed, was the gun.
Oh, where did y'all go?
We went to, I don't know, forever ago. We just went out to West Texas and grabbed a gun because, yeah, that's what you don't want to travel.
What gun do you have?
I have 3.
What kinds?
I have some sort of revolver that I don't know what it is, but my brother-in-law's mother didn't want it anymore. So now I have it. Mm-hmm. It's like an old revolver, and then I have a 9mm and I have a tactical shotgun.
Mm. Yeah.
The tactical shotgun I bought when I lived by myself because there was a rapist in my neighborhood and he was preying on white single women. So I just went and bought a gun and I like modded it out and then I hung it above my couch so that I could just walk in and grab it. Yeah. It was right there and it looked like, don't fuck with me.
You kept it loaded?
No.
Oh. Yeah, I have shotguns before and I know that they're tools and I think it's important to know how to operate them, but their prevalence is terrifying and their ease of acquiring, I guess, is terrifying.
I watched a documentary last night called Brilliant Disguise and I got shot into a different reality. And before I, also Tom Fitzgerald says, I wish there was a gun equivalent to the MSF. It's so weird that there isn't. It's so weird that you can go to Walmart.
Oh, like a course to learn.
And just go buy a gun. Even when I got my license, you just fill out a little card at the police station and I mean, there's just nothing. There's just nothing between you and owning as many guns as you want.
That's baffling to me, but also I've always wondered why it's so easy for people to have children, even when they're not qualified to raise a child.
I know.
But that comes into like body rights and like reproduction right stuff. But I think that the training for gun ownership and operation.
I brought my guns to the airport. You just walk in with guns. And then you go to a different x-ray machine. You put your guns down. They go on the plane.
What,
pick them
from
up.
Minnesota to Texas?
Mm-hmm. This is weird.
Well, the history of our country, there's a lot of emphasis on having your guns.
Yeah, it's if you woke them all up though. You did a little reanimation
And they were like, shit.
And you kind of told them like, okay, look at this, look at this AR-15, look at these and you just showed them what's going on. I don't think they'd be down. I think some things I think the founding fathers would change some shit. And then you'd show them all the crazy military things that, I mean, look at Waco. You're not gonna fucking win.
Right.
You're not gonna win. Why would you win? Ever.
You mean like a militia against the U.S. government?
Yes.
Oh, for sure. And I think if you showed the founding fathers like global warfare, like the global scale that we've reached and the weapons that have been developed in order to like eradicate our species, like
watching
I'm curious what they would say.
I watched, what was the drone footage that made Edward Snowden famous? Wasn't it? It was like it's like a group of guys standing there. Turns out none of them are anybody that they were trying to shoot. And then they just plucked them all off, murdered all of them. One guy had his kids in the van. He was dropping his kids off to
Was
school.
that in Russia?
No, in the Middle East.
Oh.
And I'm just trying to think of how deep I want to go, but
Yeah, it seems like on one side of the argument, people want all guns to be eradicated, and on the other side of the argument, people want, everyone to be armed. Like, more guns. We need more guns to cease this gun violence. And then the other people are like, we don't need guns at all. Like, get rid of guns.
yeah.
And it's like, there's no way that either one of those are a real solution.
No, I mean, it's like the quickest solution I could think of. School shooters, it's like, okay, well, she went to 7, I don't know how many gun stores she went to, but okay, every owner of that, you're closing down shop, like, just start taking away rights. You sold a gun to a shooter. Okay, the kids' parents are going to jail. Everybody's going to jail. Like, suddenly, a friend of hers sent screenshots. So the shooter messaged the girl and said, I'm not gonna be alive today, you're gonna see me on the news. She starts freaking out, sends a screen cap of what the shooter said to her dad. Her dad goes, call the suicide hotline, because the dad's thinking like she's gonna commit suicide or something. Suicide hotline goes, call the cops. Like, hold on, call the cops. She calls the cops, the Nashville cops. Oh yeah, we'll send somebody out later. And then they didn't. So there's
Good golly.
You got to start where you're at. If
Start with what you've got. They had something to start with.
Yeah.
And that's interesting that she would give notification that it was about to happen.
I think most of them do. I think it's often like all the writings were on the walls. Oh man, they had maps of everywhere.
So like, what does it mean that they don't follow up? Do they get like false alarms a lot, and so they just disregard, or they don't have enough manpower to like seek it out, or like what? I
think since they didn't have, she didn't say I'm gonna go shoot up a Christian school. They're like, yeah, we'll be there later or whatever. They're not taking stuff seriously.
Right.
So I was watching this fucking documentary last night. I remember editing the Uvalde podcast that we did and feeling the dark energy like from that. Corgi says, wasn't she a trans man? I'm under the impression that they were a child. They weren't, they hadn't fully
I have no clue as to their identification or their gender identification. When I first read about it, they said that she was a woman. So, and then they pointed out how statistically uncommon it is for a woman to do a shooting.
Oh wait, no, she was 28. Okay, I'm getting all my school shooters confused.
And I believe that the weapons she used were acquired legally over the course of like 5 years, which is harder, because then it's not like a background check thing. It's not a mental health thing. It's like she got these all legally.
They always do, right? I mean, also sometimes they're just stolen. It says that she used male pronouns on social media. I mean, I don't know I'm sure maybe Full Metal Corgi has more of a...
Oh, that would mean that he was born biologically female, but then identified as male.
Right, but it's like using pronouns versus actively changing your sex or whatever, to me is different.
Right.
So, I don't know. Okay, back.
That's a very sticky situation.
It's a sticky situation, and I had the who did it to me is like a non-issue. Usually, it's It's like there's a massive fucking gun violence issue.
Yeah, only in our country.
Yeah.
Only in our country.
Well, because, Megan, you could go to Walmart and go buy a gun right now. You want to go buy a gun?
There isn't even like a waiting period?
I don't think so. No, especially if we went to a Texas gun show. Yeah, you can get whatever the hell you want.
So that should change?
Yeah.
Because these crimes are crimes of passion. And if you couldn't acquire a gun and then turn around and do it, you think they would lessen in frequency?
It's also crazy to think about trying to rid this country of as many guns as we have.
Everybody has guns. And then, like, if there are more laws that suppress the amount of guns or make it harder to obtain guns legally, you'll still have guns to get illegally. Right? I don't know what the solution is. I think it's heartbreaking and disgusting.
Like the transitory place for illegal whatever you want. We got it.
Right. So how do we protect children?
We get them all guns.
We give them guns.
I remember being out in public with Ruby and I heard a loud bang. I fucking hit the deck. I was like, oh, this is statistically what should be happening right now is somebody's opening up fire on us. And
what if all the technology and money that we use to protect soldiers is instead pointed towards the children of our future? What if they were protected in that way, as if they were in a battlefield? Just
like bullet vests and
I don't know, Kevlar.
We get every child a Pope mobile.
Every child deserves to ride to school in a Pope mobile, their own Pope mobile.
Yeah, every house, every family gets however many Pope mobiles, however many kids you got.
Or they go fully back to remote learning. But then that exacerbates kids who live in abusive households. It's like, how do you protect them?
It was freaky. I saw the footage of her. The doors are locked, right? They're doing the protocol. She's just blasting out the glass of the front doors of the school with the guns. I mean, I don't know.
I am curious as to what her motive.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, did she go there?
I believe she did go there. I hope everybody's hugging their little babies nice and tight. Have you ever thought of homeschool? I know it's not good to like abandon the system because it's ineffectual. But it's like, how can you ensure that it doesn't happen?
Melissa Joan Hart lived in Connecticut and her kids went to school down the road from Sandy Hook. So they moved to Nashville and then her kids go to the school across the street from the...
Whoa,
I was like, yo, Melissa Joan Hart. Fuck.
That's nuts. That's crazy coincidental.
Yeah, the statistical probability of that happening is pretty crazy. All right, back to the... Come on, get out of the dark. It's so dark. This is America, though. This is the brilliant, luminescent Americana.
Yes. What is the most American thing about America to you?
School shootings.
If it's not... Okay, give me a dark and give me a light. Give me a light version of the most quintessential American thing that you can think of. Is it chicken fried steak?
Strip mall?
Strip mall. That's kind of medium. I don't think there's anything positive.
Yeah, it's neutral.
Other than the ability for like someone who immigrated here to just like start their business. It's hard to find the light when everything's so dark.
No. There's tons of there's freedom of speech, freedom of religion, the Constitution.
Don't we have a lot of servicemen in the chat?
Yes, I think so.
Have they said what they think about gun ownership, gun operation, proliferation of...
Dear vets in the chat, what do you think about the proliferation of gun violence? Yeah, it was brutal dropping my kid off at daycare yesterday. Yeah, ever since Uvalde, I mean, that never left my mind, because that was in Texas. So, and that was a lot of little kids. So I just kind of live in that fear, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy to think like in the industrial age, children were not protected from, you know, working
Yeah.
in like factories with bad conditions. They weren't protected from like abuse of their family. They weren't protected from that kind of stuff. But we've like enacted all of these ways in which children receive special attention and protection. But the gun thing just keeps getting worse, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you don't have to go labor in a factory or on your family's farm, and you don't have to get black lung being a chimney sweep, but you have to go to school and you might die there.
It's a very strange, like, to imagine the mental illness. This is what you're gearing up to go do. Dying is easier than living. There's like a lot of like, shit. I mean, where are the parents? Where are the friends? Or, I mean, she was 28, so it's like, how isolated are you? How, you know, the gun violence issue is a multi-layered issue. Yeah, the proliferation and access to guns is a big part of it. Mental health, responsibility,
Lack of community.
That's where I'm getting into the documentary I was gonna...
The documentary.
The documentary.
What was it called?
It was called Brilliant Disguise. And so, it's in the Ram Dass. You know, this is a facet of devotion. And I understand that there's, you know, Hindu cults and everything in India isn't great, and there's corruption, and there's disparity between classes, and there's lack of women rights. But all of that aside, to see spiritual people living in the countryside of India next to these people who figured it out, and they have in Hindu culture, it's like you have words for all of the things that we experience. Here we are sitting like, I don't know, I felt like this crazy thing. And they're like, yeah, samadhi. And you're like, what? To them, watching this documentary, it's on Amazon, it was like $4 to rent. But I'm also like balls deep into that sort of stuff. But to see these true gurus, or they're not gurus, they call them something else. They call them babas. They're just like wisdom holders. There's gurus, there's monks. In India, there's all of these people. And you can go see this one or this woman over here. Well, we call her mother. She represents source mother, and you know, this person's psychic and they can talk to the dead. There's just, that's their community, and they make giant pilgrimages every 12 years to this one holy river, and they all bathe each other, and life is just like getting food for one another. And there was like a cool part where, so Maharaji was this essentially enlightened one, you know, being near him would make people go into ecstatic states. And these people have a blanket on them and they're sitting there. They're not, me, you listen to me. You know, like, because I just got done watching Waco and I seriously needed something to cleanse my palate, because this dude's just like fucking 10-year-old kids, and like, you know, because the Bible says it's fine. And, you know.
He said that he was the second coming of Christ.
Yes, right? And that everybody needed to listen to him. And they worked with him, you know, they got him on all the Christian broadcasts, but this dude just, he's, you know, and you're like, this isn't
It's
how-
ego-based.
You go to India and it's like, well, Christ is in all 12 of those guys. And they have, you know, and they're just like kind of collapsed and they can do things that no one can understand. You're going to get a phone call that your son died, but he's fine. You know, and this was in the 30s and the 40s and 50s. You know, this, you couldn't.
Yeah.
It was just, no, oh yeah, he's Christ. And like over there, it's just the thing, and they devote their lives to that thing. And millions of people are devoting their lives to that thing. Maharaji and then Casey, I don't remember his last name, but the main guy that they're focusing on in the documentary, he will go into samadhi. So he'll disappear from his body. You can slap him, you can smack him on the head. He's gone. He's not breathing. So he's going to the other dimension. And they're like, he'll be back. You know, we got to wait for him whenever he comes back from dinner. But Maharaji kept getting him to marry this woman. And he was like, no. And her parents had died and she's taking care of all of the siblings. And he's like, come on, dude. She's beautiful. Come on, man. And this was early on in his spiritual quest. And he was just a devotee of Neem Karoli Baba. No, Neem Karoli Baba. He's like, no, I'm not getting married. No, the path to God is mine. He finally gives up after days and days and then is like, marries the woman.
It only took days to convince him to marry a stranger.
Something like that. And then his relationship with his wife, that's when he starts this spiritual explosion.
Wow.
He saw the source mother in his wife. And then he started talking about the woman rights. What was it called? Like feminism. He started talking. He's like, women don't know how powerful they are. And then they don't act powerful. And he was just kind of like, the woman. You know, he was in total...
It was like the first time he's seeing it.
It was, well, at this time he was like on his deathbed, like talking about women and how, and he thought that the feminist movement, he's like, this is a projection of your own inferiority complex. And when he said that, I was like, oh shit. Yeah, wait a second. There's something felt like I could see like a knot of the pretzel. Like, oh wait, we're screaming for stuff like we don't know how powerful we are. You know, like there's like this weird, obviously to me it's like, well, we want to have a bank account. Okay, so it's like we got to protest to have like a bank account.
We would like to just,
can I own a house? Maybe that would be great.
But you're saying like equal rights is not enough?
I think I just loved watching like a true spiritual master revere the woman. And that's part of the society. And she talked about how cooking and her service, she is the ground that people walk on. And without her, you know, it's just like, I was like ready to pack my bags last night. But it's like I understand all the other things that come with, you know, like I'm getting this really narrow view, but a lot of people in the 70s did pack their bags and they left and they moved to India. And, you know, and I was just thinking too, like, there's no bedrooms, there's no slamming doors. You all live in the room and then you eat in the room and you all take care of each other and you're feeding. Oh, I got you this pear. Do you want this pear?
Yeah.
You're like, yes. Thank you. You know, and they got to experience that and then just devoting all day to spiritual practice, witnessing stuff that didn't make sense to them. As a man in blue scrubs, tiptoes in brown shoes.
Tiptoes in brown shoes.
Goodbye.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
It brings to mind, let's see, that discussion of feminism and feminine power and how the feminist movement in the United States or the Western world is insufficient in demonstrating the true power of women. and that woman saying that she's the ground that people walk on, isn't there something innately powerful about the people who keep it moving without needing like egoic identification or validation? It's like women have always made the world go round.
Yes.
But they don't need people to be like, oh, we love you, we need you, like you are the most important. They just do it. Like, what does that mean?
I think so. In Hindu and Eastern spiritual practice, you have to witness the Divine Mother, and witnessing the Divine Mother is seeing the unconditional love, right? But also there's discipline, and there's power, and there's acts of service. And then this was like maybe 30 seconds of the whole documentary. It was just like a really brief thing. But they called her Ma. So she was like
Kali Ma?
I don't know. But the 70s hippie was like, you have to wait for him to be done eating? And she looks at him and she goes, I get pleasure from it. And you're like,
From delaying gratification or whatever?
yeah, she gets pleasure from waiting until he's done eating or whatever. Like, because they're like, don't you want equal rights? And she's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I run this whole show.
This is mine.
It's like she's given this what can be perceived as like more power to men. It's like because she allows it.
It was cool to watch. Yeah, it was cool to watch like this hippie guy be like, well, don't you want to eat whenever you want? And she was just like, what are you fucking talking about?
Because she can eat whenever she wants. She chooses not to. Maybe I'm tripped up on the...
You're tripped up on the weird thing. She gets like... He was asking about, don't you hate waiting for the head of the household to come home to start eating? Which we do that. You wait till everybody's here to eat or whatever. Mm-hmm. I think that's what it was, or it was like... Yeah, that must have been what it was. And she was like, I get pleasure from it. What the fuck are you talking? Like... Mm-hmm. This is...
What do you think that pleasure is based in?
She's just she is the Divine Mother. I mean, it's just like there is no...
She gets pleasure from people being fed and taken care of.
And waiting. I don't know.
Delaying her own gratification.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
and it makes sense, too, why we've lost this, because our mothers are... Hello?
Hello?
Here I am sitting like super isolated all day. I'd kill for that. Kill to have a house, because it's like, sure, I could fill my house with people I know, but I can't be who I am. And these people that are talking about like why all the Westerners went into their house, it's like they don't judge you for anything. They keep you closer. Like there's this intimacy.
The people who share your space?
Yeah. Like these oh God, Murphy has...
He found the secret door.
But I still... You know what I'm saying? I'm like witnessing this place where everybody is spiritual, doing puja, worshiping Shiva, cooking for each other, feeding each other, coming in and out.
Yeah.
Oh, this is my friend. Make them dinner.
It's
Bring them
almost
in.
like everyone is on board with not having their own individual mission. It's like we are one, and we're a part of something that works together to achieve, I don't know, the goal of enlightenment? I don't know. But it seems like over here, everybody's got their own, like, this is my personal ambition. And yeah, I love having my family and I love having my friends, but I need my own space because I need to take care of myself and do my own thing. How does that line up with that sense of community that seems to be more pervasive in over there.
Yeah, it's like, well, I've thought about this. To have the house is complicated. To have the cars is complicated. To have the expensive toys is complicated. So you need to like isolate yourself and but it's like, or I'd give it all up. Fuck it. I'd give it all up to
Yeah, they don't have any podcasts over there, right?
No shit. Well, they were bringing Super 8s and stuff to try to film all these like,
Right.
gurus and
like people from the West are bringing that in, right? Because there's like this need to like capture this
I'm so glad
incredible
they did.
thing, and like we're also addicted to capturing it and sharing it because it's really important to us and we make an impact on people by sharing it, but like they're just happy to have it and to do it.
Well, and their big thing is like Neem Karoli Baba would be like, here's a wad of rupees, go to the West. And everybody was like, no, I don't want to go. Like, no. But they were trying to like, the West needs this right now. There's like there's lots of pilgrimages happening to India, and they don't know that like the spiritual life, because in the 60s, wow. I mean, you were coming out of the 50s, you were rejecting what was going on.
Everybody wanted a new status quo.
They were just getting into psychedelic drugs, but people in India were like, you guys just found this shit?
Yeah.
And not drugs, but like reaching ecstasy. They're like,
Feeling high.
they're
Yeah.
like, what do you think we spend our whole lives doing? Mm-hmm. And so you get a glimpse into that.
But like tuning in, what is it? Turn on, tune in, drop out.
Mm-hmm.
That is so anti-social.
Right.
As far as like what our country thinks is important or our society thinks is important. Like, no, you need to make money. You need to buy a house.
Well,
you need
that's
to have
why
a car.
Timothy
You need to
Leary
have a
was-
family. You need to do all this
He was a
stuff.
professor at Harvard, and he got fucking fired.
It's like you need to
He
be
was an
a
enemy
cog
of the
in the
state.
machine.
Yes, because he was like the spokesperson of the hippie movement and
Right.
fuck your gods and fuck this and
But like people who don't have houses or jobs or cars are frowned upon in our society. We won't even like roll down the window and say hello to them.
well, because sometimes they're aggressive and violent. Oh, I saw a butt naked lady running down Berkman. Ooh, I want to be like, she's gone.
That's so sad.
Oh, I know. Well, there's all those. I mean, when my mom was down here, she was just like freaking the fuck out, and I'm
Why?
like, "What? The tent city has been there.
Where do you
those
want 'em to
people
go?
live there.
That's their houses.
And then you start looking, you're like, there's a lot of tent cities down here.
But in Minnesota, isn't it like
Well, they all
Too
die
clean?
in the winter. Yeah,
Yeah.
You can't live like that up.
everything's hidden? Everything's just tucked away. I don't know. We've talked about homeless people before, unhoused people, and I just think that if you don't have a house or a car or a job or a spouse or whatever, like you don't really count in this country.
Yeah, that's strange. Well, I think because we associate that with being crazy. Whereas like in India, those people are actively giving up those things, but they're being responsible in their community.
They still have that community that can hold them and they can take care of each other.
Right, because like the main people are being fathers, and they're feeding people and they're actively, keeping it together versus going like, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna, yeah.
It's tough because I think if Jesus was driving his Escalade down the frontage road and those people were on the side, he would just tell them to get in. Let's fucking ride.
Who would?
Jesus Christ, Yeshua. If he was rolling his Escalade down the frontage road, is what I said.
Would Jesus be on an Escalade? Are you quoting a song?
Nope, I just made that up. I just made it up.
Brand new Escalade. Yo, I'd ride in one of those.
I think he would manifest a nice ride to pick up all of his homeless buddies and prostitutes in. And then he would take them to the car wash and just open up the sunroof and give them all a bath. And then take
First
them to
things
Golden
first,
Corral.
Let's scrub y'all.
Scrub you down.
Lubies. You
Take 'em to Lubies.
Have you been to Lubies?
No.
No, I haven't either.
I need to go to Jack Allen Kitchen too.
Dude, we gotta get that on the fucking books. Listen, we're going tonight. I'm not gonna eat anything, but we'll go.
I have to work tonight.
Oh, that's right.
I can't. There's no way that I can like succinctly talk about all of the things that we've mentioned.
Tom Fitzgerald says, Whitney, would you consider yourself a hedonist in the traditional sense? That there is moral good in the pursuit of pleasure. That there is moral good in the pursuit of pleasure.
I think she's far too disciplined to be considered a hedonist.
Yeah, tell me what you think about that, because I don't know.
I feel like I consider my dad was a hedonist, and like it's sort of like the shirking of responsibilities and seeking your personal pleasure above all other things.
Right.
And I don't really see you putting much emphasis on your personal experience of pleasure. I think that you are more a goal setter, goal achiever. Like you have ambition and drive and discipline, and those things don't really go along with the hedonist mindset.
Right, because hedonist is like, give me the thing.
Yeah, it's like you want the sensation, and you're not like locked in that sort of one-dimensional, I want to have an orgasm, or I want to eat a cheeseburger.
Hey, you don't know that. No.
I just don't think those are your top priorities.
No.
Right. Tom.
Ooh, Teresa's on the chair.
Teresa, divine mother.
She says, did the color red and orange reveal itself to Megan?
I've been seeing it a little bit more, but there's no meaning behind it yet. I don't know. Maybe it's just a really popular car color now. Although I was riding my bike around the neighborhood the other day, and I was about to turn onto there's like bike lanes on a lot of our roads. I was about to turn into the bike lane. And there was oncoming traffic, so I held my what is it called? My ingress. And this red orange Camaro or something, like a fast muscle car, drove through the bike lane, just like gunned it at like 50 miles an hour down this like 30 mile an hour road to get around this car that was going too slow. So if I hadn't, ceased my ingress into the road, I would have gotten clobbered by that car who was breaking the law. And it was that color.
Interesting.
I was like, geez, if I was just like in the bike lane 2 seconds earlier, I would have gotten run over.
Oh.
It always pisses me off when people drive fast through residential areas, but especially when they're in a fucking car like that. They must think so highly of their personal mission that regardless of how many lanes a road has, they need to go. They need to be put first.
I like to think about public transit a lot. Welcome to Whitney's Public Transit Corner. I took the bus. I grew up in Minneapolis, took the city bus everywhere. Loved taking the city bus, learned a lot. You learn a lot taking the city bus. And I was thinking about it as a mom now. I'm like, oh my God, we could walk to the bus stop and just get no car seats? No driving?
Riding the bus is fun too. Well, if you don't have anywhere to go. If the bus is late, that's so aggravating.
Well, I remember looking at the bus schedule when I first moved here and laughed and said, that's not happening.
Because it comes every 2 hours or something ridiculous.
Yeah. And then it takes, I remember I lived off of Old Torf and I needed to get to the South Congress Hotel and it was going to take an hour and a half. And I was like, you guys don't know how this works, right? It's supposed to be a faster option.
Right.
It's supposed to, but in Minneapolis, they have bus lanes for when it's dead of traffic, and the bus hops in the diamond lane and, you can there's incentives.
Right.
And then they built a light rail. This boggles my mind. A lot of Republicans were against the light rail building, and I don't identify with either party at all by any means, but
it's all broken.
It's all broken. The Democrats it's Minneapolis. They won, built the light rail. They were like, it's not going to make any fucking money. It ended up making billions more than they thought it would, because get this. Because think of the light rail in Austin and think of where this goes. It went from downtown Minneapolis to the fucking airport. Whoa! What? Whoa!
Aren't they building a train to the airport now?
It went to the airport, it went to Mall of America. It went to the Twins Stadium. It went to all the places that make sense. Oh, I'm going to hop on this.
Yeah.
The doors are going to close. I've got my luggage and we're going to go to the airport. It made getting to the airport so fucking easy.
God, that would be a dream if there was a train to the airport.
And now they're like, these don't work. Where does the train go in Austin? It goes from the fucking the homeless camp over there to the donut store, and then it ends, and then it goes underground.
La última parada de estas trenes, la estación Lakeline. Who's going to Lakeline? Why?
No one.
I rode it briefly to culinary school because when I first arrived
it goes
here,
right there.
I drove my car, 2001 Nissan Altima, champagne colored. I drove it all the way from Virginia to Austin without incident. And then as soon as I got here, I got into an accident.
Oh.
So my car was in the shop for a long time. So I would walk my little tush down to the train station on MLK and then ride it up to school at the Domain and then walk from Breaker over to the Domain. But I had a ton of extra time on either end, like to do this leg of the journey. But most people don't have that much time to dedicate to like getting to the train station.
Imagine if the train went to Houston or Dallas.
Oh, that'd be
And you
nuts.
could go fuck around in Chinatown, and I've wanted to go to Chinatown in Houston forever.
I think it would be amazing if we had more train everywhere.
Just have a fucking train.
Right.
And it's like, I want to live long enough to where they start digging up roads. We don't need this.
Oh man, yeah.
We don't need this.
I saw that there's like this plan to put the roads below the ground. Like
that sounds scary a little bit.
Like 35 would just be a tunnel through downtown instead of being an exposed
There's a part of
road.
The 35 in Minneapolis that's underground that goes underneath everything.
Yeah. I guess how did they foresee what would be most effective infrastructure wise?
You get taxed up the fucking ass in Minneapolis, so they're just like bleeding money, and they're always changing every road. And I secretly think like the Minnesota Department of Transportation is always like fucking sucking the dick of the governor. I don't know. There's always like the road construction there is massive. I marvel at it. It's like Modern Warfare 2. Like there's 70 mile an hour dead ends to nowhere.
Oh shit, I gotta get over.
Yeah. I've seen people just crash because you're like, that guy just put the arrow sign the wrong way and then the other sign is pointed the other way. It's like a cartoon down here.
Ay, Dios mío.
Teresa said the first two colors of the chakras, red is survival / fear and orange is pleasure / guilt. In terms of your car color
What happened when you combine them?
What happens when you combine them, Teresa?
What happens?
Yeah, I just, like, in my mind, I'm president. Look at me. Look at my big tits. Look at my big robot tits. And it's like, I've always tried picturing what would we give up our cars for? Like, obviously,
Teleportation.
Motorcycles stay. All the toys stay. Like, fun collectors' cars, motorcycles,
But as far
and
as
stuff.
one person commuting in a 2-ton vehicle.
What is it, like a
gotta go.
iridescent snake that can like break off and go exactly where you need to go at any time of the day?
Break off from like the public movement of one? Break off from what?
Yeah, let's say I want to keep my autonomy.
Uh-huh. Yes.
I want to go from my house to there.
Uh-huh.
And if you take away my car fuck you. I don't get to go to Walgreens at 4 a.m. for whatever, Cheetos.
Yeah.
But there could be like an iridescent snake train that's half sentient, and it breaks off, and it goes to your house. It goes down like,
And then it finds its way back to the
to the main
iridescent snake train main thing.
Like, how do you wrap in public transit with autonomy?
Well, I think the use of scooters is sort of getting it there.
Also, we didn't build our city. We built, strip mall. Like, this below zero is next to the Jimmy John's, but you got to get in your car to get to the Jimmy John's, otherwise you're gonna get run over. You're gonna die.
The infrastructure we're dealing with now was built around everybody having a car and driving in a car. But I think that all of the little like rent for however long you need scooter thing is like getting towards the. It's like
we throw them into the river.
Transportation does
over
not
and over again.
really get you where you want to go, but you can hop on a little scooter, get there, throw it in the river, and then
throw it in the river,
on.
get a new one. Watch the guy behind you trying to like pick them all up as he makes 25 cents every 30 seconds per scooter. It's just like new slavery. It's just like, what are we doing? I'm my own boss. I'm my own boss. I'm my own boss.
They gotta go to like the side of the highway to like get one from under the bridge. You're like, oh no. You're like looking at your GPS thing like, where is this thing? Like it's taped to the ceiling of a fucking bridge.
We've talked about it before. This is reminding me, there is a condemned mall in Temple, Texas.
Temple, Texas.
It's condemned. The roof is falling apart. There are no stores there. There's asbestos. Every restaurant in the food court was just like putting up signs saying they're leaving, they're going back to Japan, and they're not coming back. And I loved every second of it. Like I felt like I was practically calling you because I was like, this is amazing. This is everything
I wish you could see this. It's everything we've ever dreamed of.
There's a buy it now sign in front of the jewelry store. And it's just like they were selling like big chains.
Can we shoot a video there?
Well, I'm gonna hit them up today because I sort of feel like if I hit up whoever's in charge of this condemned building and I said, look, I want to film a podcast there, I kind of want to like see the behind the scenes.
Wait, it's still open, but it's like ramshackles?
Yeah. I found like this little tucked away coffee shop where everybody was playing black metal and had Dungeons and Dragons shirts. Like there was a hive of nerds in there.
Yeah.
They had claimed this corner. And I was like, this is amazing. And then Ruby saw the candy store and we went in there. The two people working were non-binary. They were angels. They were so tall.
Gods on earth.
And they were wearing garbage. And I'm just like, they're like, let's help Ruby find the right lollipop. And I was like,
take my money.
Yeah, I was like,
it.
This is a gem. We can't let this mall be knocked down.
Wow.
I really want to film there, and I want to be given the keys to the kingdom. I feel like it wouldn't be that hard, or we could pay whatever, a couple $100 to like. I want the.
Sounds incredible. I'm down. Let's go. I was thinking about the baptism thing that I wrote that we're gonna shoot,
which is on the calendar
Monday. But I was thinking that there could be 3 parts, and maybe like baptism is the second part, but the first part can be like a prequel, and it'll be like birth, baptism, and then what do you think the third stage should be?
Well, I feel like going straight from. Well, that's not true. Birth, baptism, hedonism. No, what happens after you get baptized?
I guess that's what I need to figure out.
Full Metal Corgi says death.
Yeah, I thought about death, but it's sort of like the opening of a journey instead of... Well, I guess if you think about it, death is also the opening of a journey. I don't know, but that's what I've been cooking up, trying to think what it looks like.
I'm sure it'll, like, as we start filming, too, it'll kind of just start...
Yeah, and I was thinking about the giant pretzel that I want to make for the baptism one.
We have to pick out the... It's going to be floating or the cheese is floating?
I think the cheese dip needs to be floating.
We need to pick out the proper Amazon, like, blow up party, like lazy river thing that will hold your queso.
Yes, and I think I want to make the pretzel big enough so you can put it on your head or like around your neck or something. Like one of the holes of the pretzel is like big enough to be a necklace. I don't know. It's coming together in my mind. Wait till you see that.
I'm excited for that.
It's gonna blow your dicky off.
Because I was like, where's the next rubbish? And I was like, oh, it's the baptism.
But I was thinking about the next rubbish too. I was talking to Brittany actually.
You were.
I texted her
Shout out
because
Brittany.
Shout out Brittany. She's like sometimes she says things and it just like jump starts me into like a new way of
that's nice.
considering
Nice little-
things. So she said that she would like a meal that is like sensual and romantic for one, like something that you can make easily and
a sexy one-person dinner.
yeah, and you can like pair a nice beverage with it and like light a candle and put music on, like curate music instead of watching TV. It's like something that she can make out of rubbish, but that feels like she's taking care of herself.
Yes.
So that's what I've been thinking of. And I think I've been big on fish recently, so it's going to have something to do with a fishy. I think it'll be great. But I think it can be like a nice little sexy episode where it's just me and like making something sexy for myself.
Yeah, like maybe we should film some of it in your apartment.
That's too intimate.
Oh, God. Okay. Get it out. Get it out.
Perhaps. I don't have parchment paper though. You have parchment.
I bought parchment. Do you know why I bought parchment paper?
Why?
Ruby picks me flowers every time we go out, and then there's just dried flowers in every pocket and every orifice and they're all over the place. I was like, why don't I press them and save them and put the date on them? And so that's what I started doing.
How is she doing today?
She just picked out this. We were at Target and I was like, prepping her before we go in a store. No candy, no toys, no snacks. Mama needs fat people pants. Remember that. And if you're good, we can pick out a little something. They've got like the little dollar section.
Yeah.
The second we walk in, she goes, I need that. I need that. I need that. I need that. And I was like, can I grab a cart first? It was like this baseball hat and it's all the Disney princesses hugging each other.
I saw her wearing it yesterday or the day before.
She's
or
like,
whatever.
I need this. I need this. I had never seen her like sprout so much need for something. And so she's been wearing like this taut baseball hat and walking around like a little tourist or something.
When I saw her on Monday with her little fanny pack and she looked exactly like she was at Disney World as a tourist. It was amazing.
Yeah, so she's been good. Yesterday I was feeling like shit, so I picked her up and she wanted to go do this and go do that, and I was like, babe, we're going home. I just like laid down. I felt a little bad for her, but I was like, this is temporary.
Yeah, I mean, especially when she's got such a raucous, enjoyable life all the time.
Yeah, it's like,
she doesn't need to be stimulated all the time.
What
right?
do you need from the ground? She's like, play with me. And I'm like, from the ground. I will play with you from the ground. Teresa, I will send you a pic. I got her a pic from her school. She's like, they go to this garden and they plant all these plants and stuff. And she's like watering with her fucking like man hat and her shoes. And she's got the...
She's so great. She's the coolest, man.
She is the coolest. It's crazy to think of. The next one's gonna be cool, right? Are they all cool?
How could they not be? Everybody's just like, oh yeah, and like we have flowers in the garden, and we have, and Mama is my baby, and Papa is my baby, my babe. She's amazing.
I was Ruby has told everybody that I'm gonna have a baby, so there's no hiding it from anybody because whatever. So one of the moms that is also dropping her kid off was like, congrats, how are you feeling? And I was like, like
poo-poo shit.
like poo-poo shit, like it's taking everything from me to grow a brain. And she was like, have you ever done cold plunges? And I was like, no, but I was like, I have heard that there's some really good. Who's the breath guy? Wim Hof?
He goes under the water for 20 minutes or 30 or something like that.
So she invited me to her house. She's like, I have a cold plunge tank. I was like, oh.
She's going to harvest your organs,
She
babe.
gonna take them all.
She's going to put you on ice and take your kidneys.
She does 3 minutes of 55 degrees. And she said it was the only thing that brought me relief.
Because it numbs you or what?
Lucas was explaining it to me. There are physiological processes that only happen when you're exposed to cold. And they revitalize you, get rid of your fatigue, put your body into a space that it normally doesn't go in, which I think why Wim Hof is such a big fan of it. I was like, I could see that. I could need a shock. I could need like a little like,
well, you let me know. Why don't you just jump into Barton Springs? It's not cold enough.
Maybe it is cold enough. Maybe this time of year
it's like
it is.
68. It's always 68.
Oh.
Because it's spring fed. But a lot of people swear by year round, gotta jump into Barton Springs at 5 a.m.
Every time I go to Barton Springs, I always picture the cult that used to go swimming there all the time.
Hey.
One of your culinary teachers was in that cult.
Yes, her name is Radia. She was in that documentary about that cult too.
Yeah.
She was quite a personality. My biggest memory of her was when my dad had just passed away. And she was like, you have to take this test. I'm like, well, my dad is dead. And she's like, well, you can't let your studies fail. You can't, And he had like died the previous day. I was like, I need some time, man.
You're like, A is French fries, B is roast chicken. Get out!
She was just like, she didn't get it. She's like, this is really important for your future. I'm like, this is really important for my present. This is what's happening now. And I was always such a good student. Like, she still wouldn't give me a break.
People
Very
want to know where the
strange.
dogs are. They're eagerly sitting over here waiting to bug us.
Yeah, I guess my pants are dirty anyway.
Oh!
Hi, my boys! Hi, Chico Rico.
Magic Toaster says,
Magie.
how do you think Ruby is going to react when you give her more attention to the new baby instead of her? This is how I imagine holding my kids.
I imagine Ruby wanting to hold the new baby more
Ruby
than...
is going to absolutely punch me out of the way. The baby will become hers. She is a force to be reckoned with. She's not like a...
She won't be jealous of the baby. She'll take care of the baby.
Yes.
That's what I envision, at least. And she won't let the boy doctor come near the baby.
Don't talk about boy doctor.
Where did her boy doctor thing come from?
There's a YouTube series with like this little boy doctor. And I just saw her looking at him and I was like, ooh,
Oh,
boy doctor. And she
the
was
boy
like,
doctor.
no. I was like, no. I didn't know that shit started so early.
Dang, girl.
Dude, I remember like, what the fuck was his name on Barney? Charles? There's like the kid that played the cello, had a crush on him. Chris O'Donnell, Mark Hamill.
Oh, hell yeah. I had a crush on the blue Power Ranger because he had glasses. He was the nerdy
I
bit.
remember the red Power Ranger
He was like,
was
we're
hot.
gonna triangulate. I didn't really care about the red one. I liked the blue one. He seemed intelligent and like he could, triangulate, reroute the encryption, fucking hack the IRS D-base. I thought that was hot.
Dude, if you can hack the IRS D-base, game over.
That's what Trinity did in The Matrix. And Neo's like, shit, Trinity? The one who hacked the IRS D-base? Thought you were a guy. Trinity just goes, most guys do.
Boing.
Swing.
You did such a good boner boing sound.
That's what I do. I sit at home on my bed and I'm just like
You're gonna kill me.
do not die. You're not allowed to die.
Not allowed to die.
Completely off limits.
Get me on my deathbed. Do you ever think about your deathbed?
Cash me on my deathbed. How about that? Yeah, I think about it sometimes. Like, will it be an explosion? Will I be driving a car? Will I have ingested some kind of poison? Will I be sick? Will I be falling from the sky? Or will I get engulfed in flames? These are the thoughts that I think. Do you think about it?
All the time. Weekly. Almost every day. I do wonder, like, because that was in the documentary last night too, is she wanted to be a good Indian wife and die before her husband. And he said, don't worry, we'll die 18 months within each other. And he died first. But I was like, yeah, there's going to be a point where it's just one of us. But man, to think about being sucked into the eternal sphincter, that's got to be as powerful as birth.
Yeah, I hope I'm just awake for it, because what if you're taken by surprise or somebody chops off your head?
I think that's
What happened?
we lost
Was it supposed to be plugged into something?
no, it won't record if it's plugged in. Hopefully that's saved. I mean, I guess we have this if it didn't work. That was weird.
Chopped its head off.
The chick from Mythbusters just fucking zapped me already.
You've been zapped. Murphy, what do you say, baby? Come here. Let's go. Come on.
Wait, what did they... Jesse Combs.
What you gonna watch? Assieds-toi.
So Jesse Combs, like, I watched the documentary about her trying to beat the land speed, fastest land speed. In what I would, like, I thought something completely different. I wasn't really hip to exactly what had happened to her.
Did she pass away?
She did. I'll tell you how.
Whoa.
Super cool chick, super cool lady. But man, if a ragtag group of retired guys with a old jet like contraption want you to be the fastest person ever, I'd be like, nah, no. no,
Oh, they were like, we don't want to do it, but you can do it.
Well, they were the ones that owned the machine. They maintained the machine. They were the ones trying to break the record. But it was funny because she was essentially having like premonitions. I don't understand him. What a lug.
What a petite.
And she talked about like just shooting off into space. And that's how she did it. They had GoPro footage. I saw the GoPro footage of when the rocket exploded. And you're like, wow, luckily I think that was incredibly fast. I think she died instantly.
Because the motor malfunctioned, or
The brakes wouldn't work.
she collided with something?
Yeah.
Did she break the record?
They were like, shut it down. And she's like, I'm I'm trying. And you see her doing all the right things to try to shut the fucking thing down.
Damn.
At the Salt Flats of Utah, and she blasted into space. Her soul did.
Wow. Rest in peace. She died hopefully doing what she loved.
Yeah.
Trying to do science.
It's so crazy, like, to see the footage in real time. Like, 1 minute they're gearing up, like, that was the test run, okay?
Yeah.
And then the next minute,
she's gone.
yeah. Well, all of it's gone. Like, you know.
I wonder how that team felt, the ones who put her on the road.
Yeah, sometimes there's, like, precious people that you're like, no. The only lady doing really cool. No. Let's put someone else in there. Murphy boy wants his lap to pass out on. He does. Look at him. He's like a fucking sad gargoyle.
He's the gargoyle of my heart.
What a goofy looking guy.
My pants are too slippery for him. They're just jeans.
He needs grippy pants.
He needs grippy pants. Okay, bud.
Murphy is the best. I don't know. D's pretty regal.
D is my husband.
D is...
If he was a human, he'd be my husband.
Like, the security camera in my garage recognizes D as a human.
He's just like, Father, may I have a chicken nugget as well?
Murphy found a buffalo wing on our walk and ate it before any of us. And he felt guilty for like a solid 24 hours.
But did the bones hurt him?
I don't think so.
Dang.
He didn't chew it. I think
Stalwart
he just
dude.
swallowed it whole.
You're gonna poop out the bones.
Anything else you want to get off your chest? How's your soul bit?
My soul is very good. I've been feeling very powerful, and yesterday I had to lay in my bed and watch Bob's Burgers a little bit, but I think because Monday I was going very high powered, and on Sunday I was going very high powered, so I just needed a little bit of time. But I got the thing in the mail to Ryan, and I got a bunch of other shit done that I needed to get done. I got that pee-pee thing done. So, I don't know. It helps me to cross things off my list, because when I have tasks that are looming over me, I feel sort of paralyzed. Like, I can't do this, but I also have to do it I can't move on without doing it. And so, today I woke up feeling very fresh and ready.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, I'm just happy to be here. Happy to do what we do. Happy to do it with you. I think your hair is pretty.
You do?
Yes. It's got, like, shape and body.
I hacked it up.
The
After
color
she
looks
hacked it.
rejuvenated, too, though. Did you do anything with color?
No, she got rid of all the dead parts, the dead blonde parts.
There's something sort of auburn about it.
Yeah, I bought the old school emo hair razor from Amazon, and because it was straight across on the bottom, this short, I was a mess.
I was thinking
not
about it this
happy.
morning when I was driving, like imagining you with like a straight thing.
That me getting the emo razor from the fucking Amazon pack and opening it could have been an anime. I was like, shing. I was staring at it. Lucas is like, what are you doing? And I was like, it was just like went nuts, and I came out with this big mound of hair and I put it in the trash.
It looks
like,
good. You should do your own
better.
hair and save your money.
I know I've watched a lot of YouTube. There's a shit ton of YouTube videos of people doing their own hair, but I have fucked it up real bad before. Sure.
I've done that too. I've also effed up my eyebrows before.
Oh yeah, it's
Now I just let them grow.
It was a lesson in I gotta go more. I can't go once every 6 months, and yeah, it was Teresa says, do the dogs know you're pregnant? They don't act differently, but when my friend here who was much more visibly pregnant, Murphy was guarding her like a fucking like Fort Knox. He actually bit Ruby for the first time because she like, you know, jumped onto Lindsay and the dog, and he was sleeping and he freaked the fuck out. But he was guarding that. God, I bet you, because like right now it's like a fucking lima bean or something with a tail, because we're amphibious.
Say something into the mic.
But I bet, oh, yucky. But I bet once they can hear the heart and stuff, and they can hear all the... Mm-hmm. Dude, I bet you that's when stuff changes. Magic Toaster, I want you to get 2 toaster slits.
Slits?
Yeah, like on a toaster.
Oh, yeah. Slots.
Thank you. Thank
Sluts.
you. Sluts. Get 2 sluts shaved into your head.
Oh, is he going in for a new do?
He said just shave it all off, but I was thinking he could grow out his hair to be like a toaster. There was this old band called Supernova, and they all had funny things shaved into their head. Like one was a bellhop.
Yeah.
One was like a big star. I don't remember what the third... Oh, the other guy was like rings.
Yeah,
well, I looked pretty good.
If I do short hair again, I want to do like that thing where you dye it like a cheetah print.
I won't let you do that.
I think that'd be so
I will
cool.
not let you do that. No.
It's my hair.
No.
It's my hair. I gotta do it. This is the first time in my life that I've consistently had long hair.
I love it.
I feel like I love it too, but it's so like, why the fuck do I have to buy shampoo to like wash this dead thing that's on top of my head? It's such a waste of money and time. My cousin
doesn't use shampoo. She like did the whole thing. Like, she doesn't use shampoo at all. I don't know how she did it, but it looks really good.
I think if I had all, you know, forgive this word, virgin hair, but I have this really crispy bleached stuff.
Once you get rid of that, you could do that.
Yeah, I think once that's gone, then I won't have to worry about like the conditioner and shit and the fucking...
Yeah, that's why I stopped dyeing it, was because I couldn't handle the product to make it look good anymore.
Yeah, and it's all just very expensive and time consuming, and I'm trying to like kill my ego. I'm not like trying to like pump more money into building my ego up, you know what I mean?
Unless it's with delicious fish.
I will be eating fish until the ocean dies, which is probably due to happen.
All right, guys, let's see how we've been going. We went over again
3 hours.
Oh yeah, shit. That's why the last episode or the episode before was so late, is because I didn't want to pay another extra like $12 to go over on our housing thing, because they only allot you a certain amount of minutes per cycle.
NPC is what they say in the biz. If you're in the industry, you understand NPC.
It felt cathartic to have. I didn't want to look anything up. I just wanted to have a good old-fashioned raw dog MAWPOD. Raw dog
MAWPOD. Whatever is on our brains. Scrod.
Ooh, I've been having like a big creativity calibration.
Ooh.
Yeah, like I'm gonna be done editing for Jake soon, which gets all of my time back a little bit more orderly. And then did I tell you Eric texted me about his dirt bike?
No.
Yeah, and I was just like,
are you gonna go back and forth between the dudes?
No. Oh no, I didn't. I just like asked Eric how much, and he wanted some ridiculous price. I was like, no. But I've been getting a glimpse at what I don't want to make. I don't want to make, because I shot for Bat Lips all weekend, and that was fun. We're in like a boxing ring and we're doing different stuff and visually different stuff. And I was like, how do I bring more of this into what I want to put out? I've been so infiltrated by my job before, you know, I was like, I hate this. I don't like this. I don't want to do this. So the big hurdle I finally jumped over is like, I'm not on a fucking schedule. I'll post when I want.
Yes, dude.
Whenever I fucking want.
Yeah.
Because it's crazy to, like, I was at seeing how much sausage had to be made in order to get, and then watching Jake do the same thing. It's like, I don't want that.
Yeah, that's huge.
I don't fucking want that. I don't want to be balls deep in content trying to make $2,000 a month. You know, it's like, no.
The money's got to come from somewhere else, because if this is your creative expression, it'll strangle it if you're trying to rope it into being economically feasible.
That's since it's been my job to make content economically feasible. I'm like, oh, this is easy. And then I see my money thing and I'm going, what am I doing? Why don't I just have fun?
Yeah.
Post whenever I fucking want.
Hell yeah.
Who knows how often? I don't know when it will be. Doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter.
That's huge.
And bye, everybody. Go.
I came to that conclusion with Rubbish Cook because
like, just post whenever you want.
There's no way that I want it to be like a factory. Like, there's no way. I don't want that.
We cut our chops, right?
Yeah,
for a year, and
it felt good to have that weekly.
We were like,
this is what we're doing.
I got the gear, we got the mics, we got like
it felt really good.
We got to the place where we needed to get.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at. Okay. Now what?
Now you hone. You hone with the microphone.
Yeah, yesterday I went to film with like my first guest and it was just utter chaos. Lucas had to work. And the whole reason I planned it on that day was so that he wouldn't have to work.
Oh, what did you end up doing?
Trying to squeeze everything into fucking 2 hours. So he gets here late because he's coming here from Dallas. He's like, could I have a cup of coffee? I'm like, yeah, you just rode from Dallas. There's no coffee. Okay, so we'll go get coffee. You know, and then he's like, the cameras turn on. He starts telling this story a lot slower. Suddenly, he's been talking for 35 minutes on the camera. I pull up my phone. I'm like, it's 12:42. I have to pick up Ruby at 1, and I'm on a motorcycle. I cannot pick her up on a fucking motorcycle. Yesterday was funny looking back at it in retrospect.
Shit.
I say, let's cut to the fundraiser part. I gotta go. And so I felt a little bad because we didn't get to do what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But
what time was that? You could have texted me.
I should have, I thought, I'm like, okay, if I call Megan and she comes and meets us, but I have a bike, there was like...
No, I would just come here and get the car seat.
Yeah, it was like...
We could have triaged, but I understand
Next time, I'll be like, hey, babe, could you pick up Ruby?
Yeah.
That would have made my life, like...
Yeah.
Infinitely easier. But I fucking gunned it home, dude. I was doing 85 down Springdale. Speed limit's 30. I'm like, get out of my way.
You can just text Kylan and be like, I'm going to be a little late.
I can. I totally can. She's going to be there for
when you're in a situation, you're like, I can achieve this. I can do this.
I was rather impressed. I was doing 80 down Springdale, got to the Bronco. I was 6 minutes late. I went from filming an interview with 17 minutes to get to Ruby. Finishing up, packing up, getting
So did he
home.
just go back to Dallas after that?
No, he's on his way to Pennsylvania.
Oh, got it.
So he was stopping through. Jake was supposed to come. Jake canceled. Like, the whole filming is just inherently chaotic, and I've accepted that.
Yeah.
Things are always changing.
Especially when that dude's on like a travel schedule.
Yeah, and I felt bad. I'm like, I've got a hard cut at 12:30, so if you can only be here at 11, we're just gonna have to figure it out.
Yeah.
But
hopefully you raise awareness for his cause.
And he was like, I brought you a piece of whiskey cake, and this is like meeting a celebrity. And I was like, oh, I was like,
This is what I'm like.
he also like real quick was like,
No, just keep it going for 2 hours.
He sells houses or whatever he's trying to. Like his whole life has been turned upside down since he got cancer, and he was like, yeah, my buddy, he's on Megan's list.
What's that?
I was like, what the fuck is that? He goes, that's the sex offenders list.
That's called Megan's List?
Is it? I'd never heard of that before.
Was he caught peeing in public, or did he do something lascivious?
But the way that this guy just like shrugged it off, but he has like 7 kids.
The dude who's on the list?
No, the dude who I was talking to. So the dude, Tim, was like, I'm selling this guy his house, but turns out he's on a sex offender list.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know. I know.
Do we want to be
get,
affiliated?
I know sometimes you get thrown on that list if you're 18 and your girlfriend's 15 or whatever, which still is not
that's
cool.
Gross. But yeah, I think that it is a distinguishing mark that you cannot shake, regardless of what you do in the future. And I think that, if you get caught peeing in public, that you can go on it. But I don't know what this person has done, and I don't really want to give him the benefit of the doubt. But I guess I just did.
Either way, I'm ready to just make videos because I want to.
I think they'll flow much more easily when you actually have something that you want to get out. Instead of like thinking, what am I going to do? What are this next video? What am I going to do?
Yeah, it was fun for a while. I had like 6 videos in the chamber. So it was just like really easy.
Yeah.
But now I don't have anything. And now I'm just like, having that identity crisis and being like, well,
here we are again.
Here we are. So I like it. It's fun.
I do like that we've built the community.
Yes, I think
that's the coolest outcome. I mean, other than our own like artistic expression, but like we've got some cool motherfuckers out there.
We've got cool motherfuckers, which I never thought in a million years that I would start a Discord. So thanks, guys. I think it's important. Oh, our design is in the works. I paid the guy the money.
Wait. Not the
MAWPOD
one who
design.
gave you the wacky one that you didn't like. Did you brush that one off?
Psychedelic guy.
Sick. I'm so excited to see it.
I said, so I want our heads maybe, and I was like, we need a pot of beans, and Murphy and Davis and just kind of like, do your thing. And he was
Hell
like,
yeah, that sounds
okay.
amazing. Pot of beans. Dude, I want beans. I want to make a pot of beans.
Dude, you were a bean head.
I used to be a bean head, but I haven't made beans in a while. I need to make some beans.
She needs to make some beans, ladies
My
and
tummy's
gentlemen.
growling. I just started
All right.
thinking about
Oh no, beans! Get this woman a pot of beans.
Bye, love you.
Bye.
Swing, 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 swing.
Wait, how do I turn this thing off?
I'll just keep swinging.
All right, you do that.
Swing, swing,
Swing. Says I'm still alive.
swing.
Oh, it's from here.
It says I'm still alive. I don't understand. Swing.